A lot of pressure on Tom Brady, pressure on Todd Bowles. Sal, who's under more pressure?
Oh, it's not even close. It's Todd Bowles. I don't think Tom Brady's under any pressure. One thing you have to do is run your scenarios, and you got to run them to the positive, the ideal, utopian scenario, and you also got to run one straight to hell, the bad scenario. Let's run these scenarios for these two individuals. Tom Brady goes out there and wins another Super Bowl. That's what Tom Brady does. Here's number 8. You ran out of fingers on one hand. Now you're on the other one. You're almost running out of fingers over there. Go Tom Brady. Tom Brady goes out there, and this year falls flat on his face. Well, he did retire in the offseason. I wonder how his commitment materialized on the field. Oh, that's okay, Tom. You can't win them all. You've won 7 in 22 years. Oh, okay, not so hellish. Let's go with Todd Bowles. In success, Todd Bowles. Well, that was good. He is a good coach. But Bruce Arians just won with that team 2 years ago. And Bruce Arians was a losing coach in Tampa Bay before he got Tom Brady. So they're going to rob you of your success and undermine it because of Tom Brady just being on the roster. And then this is the worst one. Let's go to hell. If Todd Bowles fails this year, Lord, everybody and their mama going to say, y'all hired the old Jet losing head coach because of his skin color, because of the Rooney Rule, and he couldn't even win with Tom Brady. Now he making Tom Brady look bad. Oh, why did we get rid of Bruce Arians, or why did Bruce Arians step down for this? And y'all knew he wasn't a good coach before. How dare you? It's supposed to be about how competent you are, how qualified you are, not because you're a friend of the coach who stepped down. That's a hellish scenario. So just because of all those scenarios, the one that looks the worst is the one I just described. And the person I just described is Todd Bowles.
I agree with you on this. Full transparency, I can't wait to get back to this Giannis debate, but for the sake of the show, I'm going to talk this. Todd Bowles under significantly more pressure. And again, let's Sal and I have this uncomfortable dialogue, if you will. Bowles has already failed as a head coach.
Yes.
Ain't no way around it. 26-41, I believe, was his record with the New York Jets. So he's already failed as a head coach. Brady has never failed as a quarterback. He may not have won a Super Bowl, and some might define that as a shortcoming or failure, but realistically speaking, bird's eye view, Brady's never failed. Anyway, that's not the fun stuff. Let's get to the real stuff, the conversations people won't have. What black head coaches have for so often asked for, Brian Flores in his statements, etc., Hugh Jackson in his co-signatures of statements, a fair and equal opportunity. Am I mistaken in?
No, you said it.
A fair and equal opportunity is what not only black head coaches, but minority groups in America, in this country, you ask for a fair and an equal opportunity. So what are the opportunities that have been presented to head coaches? Head coaches have for so often in the National Football League been hired because of relationships. Maybe didn't necessarily earn the job, but they knew the owner, they knew the GM, they knew the family ownership group, and so they were promoted to that. The majority of coaches in the National Football League, actually, their fathers either coached or they have a sibling coaching. The NFL is so much so based upon who you know. A fair and equal opportunity is what minority coaches and minority individuals in this country have for so long asked for. Well, now, Bruce Arians, you just got you a fair and equal opportunity. Because, Todd Bowles, courtesy of Bruce Arians, got a fair and equal opportunity. Thank you for the correction. Todd Bowles was given a job he didn't necessarily have to interview for. Todd Bowles was given a job based off a relationship. Todd Bowles was given a job that he didn't have to formally sit down and have long discussions for. So, Todd Bowles, you have now been given a fair and equal opportunity based upon what so many other coaches have been historically given. Now the question is this: what you gonna do with it? Because the ask has been just for a fair and equal opportunity. I don't want to be fired first, and I don't want to be fired first, and I don't want to be hired last. What Brian Flores was talking about. Fair and equal opportunity. Todd Bowles, you got it. Now the question: what are you going to do with it? And that, to me, Sal, is why there is so much pressure. Because when you get what you asked for, now what are you going to do with what you got? Because you've been asking for it. What you going to do now? We so often hear those stories, or we've been in those situations, somebody being held back from a fight outside the bar. Oh, let me at this dude. Let me at this dude. Let me at this dude. Okay, your friend let you at him. Now what you about to do? You about to tussle or no? Todd Bowles, you wanted that opportunity. you have gotten an opportunity. But there's so much pressure because if you fail and if you fall again, there's no excuse. Handed something. Silver platter, greatest quarterback of all time, a top 5 defense as it pertains to talent from the front 7 to the back end. You got offensive players that you need. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin on the tag again, and then they finally gave him a real deal. Todd Bowles, you got everything. You got no excuse. So much pressure on Bowles.
You said handed. I just want to clarify. Do you mean it was something that was given to him or something that he earned? What would you say?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't.
Something can be given to you even if you earn it. You feel me? I think Todd Bowles was given this opportunity. Based upon his defensive track record with the Bucs, did he earn it? No doubt about it. But I think there's such a misconception in society, and we've seen it in television programmers, and we've seen it with network analysts. Well, they were just given that opportunity. No, they earned it too. Now, they were given it as well, but you can be given something that you earned. I think Todd Bowles earned it based upon his defensive track record. But where's the formal interview process? Where are the other candidates? Because that wasn't because that didn't occur, I do think he was given it.
Like it. Just had to clarify because I'm ready for the smoke. All the smoke. What up, Matt? What up, Steve? Where my dogs at? Here's the pressure. The Rooney Rule, what's happening in our world right now is everyone's getting emotionally triggered because of things that are inspiring. Not just things that you get emotionally triggered because it's something that is negative. Sometimes the positive is seducing you too as well, to not really critically think about what you're accepting. The Rooney Rule was one of those. As soon as the Rooney Rule came out, I was like, oh, I don't want that. And I understand why other people did want it, because you wanted to see the inclusion and diversity. But the Rooney Rule, frankly, if you want to dig below the surface, was telling people, we're going to discriminate for minorities, but don't you dare discriminate against minorities. Did y'all catch that? We're going to discriminate for minorities. That means make sure you hire one or make sure at least you interview one. But we make sure we don't discriminate against it. That right there is a little hypocritical in its statement. Now, I look at this situation, Todd Bowles, be careful, because Tampa Bay is thin ice. I heard a lot of stories. My wife's from Canada. They used to skate, in junior high school. I'm just running up and down Slauson, doing some normal stuff or going to practice. They used to skate on lakes, and it was thin ice sometimes, right? And then little Sarah, hey, this is.
Why wasn't Kiki skating?
Well, Kiki wasn't up there with my wife. That's what she told me. So Kiki could skate too. Little Kiki over in Crenshaw, the skating rink I went to. Here we go. So here's the thing. So you're skating, and then it's thin ice. You don't know it. You can't see it. It's kind of deceptive. Looking at the Tampa Bay situation, even Bruce Arians said this is a great situation. However, is it thin ice? Because last year, you won 13 games and a playoff game. The year before, you won 11 games and the Super Bowl. You think this is a great situation from the core up, but let's remind people who Tampa Bay really is. Last time they won double digits, when you got to go back? 2010? And then from there, you got to get another gap going on 4 or 5 years. Todd Bowles, interest in this situation is not fully hardened. How great is it going to be for him? It's crazy that you're bringing up his privilege. And I remember I got a lot of backlash, which means people got on their keyboard, start talking trash about me, because I said, dog, in the midst of when white privilege was a real conversation, like every single second it felt like, I was like, dude, I got privilege. I got black privilege. Y'all want to say people got white privilege? And frankly, I don't believe in white privilege. How you don't believe in it? I was like, you want to know why? Because I know a lot of white people don't have privilege. And I know a lot of black people that do got privilege. We all got privilege based on what we earn. Now, some people may discriminate against who you are based on the exterior, and they're a fool. But you're going to be even more foolish if you respond to their silliness. Marcellus, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. This life experience tells me I do know what I'm talking about. One thing that I talked to my daughter about, who just got her internship, who is doing amazing right now, is the fact that she was telling me she wants to be in marketing. She's right now at Columbia Business School. Congratulations, a little relationship there. There's that privilege. And she wants to do marketing. And basically, she's not going to play sports. She wants to do anything in terms of the business organization upstairs with a sports team. Okay. All right, Morocco. Let me hear your scenario right now. I know you don't have to have this finalized in Sharpie and pen, but just tell me what you're thinking right now. Oh, Dad, I want to go here and work here, work here, work here. Then I start beating her up in terms of like, oh, what about this? Why don't you start your own company? Do you have any relationships? Why don't you just get one client and snowball it? Why don't you use my relationships to open up what they're going to try and teach you, what you already know, but now you have the assets and resources. Now all she's thinking is, I want to start my own company. And that's going to start off of a relationship. Just like any other company in the NFL, 32 teams, a lot of the hires, a lot of the organizational structure is based off of those relationships. Todd Bowles was ascended in part because of his relationship. But now in that ascension on this thin ice, which is a team that outside these last 2 years been real suspect, I wonder how he's going to respond to that same pressure.
What's interesting to me, though, so when I hear you speak is, if this is thin ice, I don't know that any head coaching job is thick ice, meaning which of the head coaches that are in their first year hire, as with Todd Bowles, what situation is better? I don't think McDaniel going to the Dolphins is any better. I don't think Gallen to the Saints is any better. I don't think that any of these head coaching hires or the Broncos head coach isn't in a better situation. Vikings not in a better. I think that Todd Bowles is in as good of a situation as a first-year head coach can be in. Do you disagree?
I don't, but it's good, but it ain't all good, and it's not as good as advertised. Let me tell you why. Bruce Arians said it. Bruce Arians broke it down for me. Bruce Arians said, you know why I did this? You know why I did this right now and the way I played it? Because he played this. He waited, get Brady back. Waited, the other coaches got to go and get hired. Waited, no hiring practice and process. And then said, Todd Bowles, this is your job. I'm going upstairs, right? He planned this. He plotted this. You know why he did it? He said it. He said, because if next year we go 10-7, Brady comes out here and says, all right, this was not for me. I retire because he already said because of his health issues, his age, I'm going to retire next year. Guess what I can't do? Force the issue and force Todd Bowles to be the head coach. I won't have that power. So he's like, I have to do it right now. So it's not about what I feel. It's about what I already heard revealed. This is a situation where it's not thick ice. They won a Super Bowl because Tom Brady showed up and changed the entire culture. Remember, they were 7-5 before that in that same season. And then last year, you saw them take a step back, whatever that is. If they take another step back and remind that fan base, here comes Tampa again, the old Tampa, the dry years, the drought since 2010. Now they're going to blame Todd Bowles because he won't get the credit if they win it all because Bruce Arians just did that. But he going to get killed if they lose because you did that with the Jets. And now you're so contagious, you done made Tom Brady a loser. Oh, that's all bad. Oh, that's all hell.